Ahoy and welcome to another video. It is now the end of February and it's time for me to talk about all the games I played this month. What I liked, what I didn't like. Did this last month as well for all the January games. Trying to do this at the end of every month to kind of chronicle my 2024, what games I play, and hopefully help me out towards game of the year, time of the year where I can look back at my thoughts and help articulate my favorite games at the end of the year. Just like last month, I'm going to start off with the games I played this month that did not come out this month or in 2024 at all. Just some older games I got around to playing. So the first one I want to talk about is one I streamed. Streamed this full game, and that is WarioWare Smooth Moves. This was a gift from a friend of mine, Tyler. You see him on the stream sometimes. He sent me this, I believe for Christmas. I love WarioWare games. I'm working on getting all of them physically. And then I want to play through all of them, the ones I haven't played, and kind of make a video on it when I get through those and kind of rank my favorite WarioWare games. So Smooth Moves was one I hadn't played before. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's a motion-based game because it's on the Wii. And it's funny, in hindsight, I didn't realize how much inspiration the recent game WarioWare Move It took from Smooth Moves. I heard that Move It was a spiritual successor to Smooth Moves, but it really is, down to the way they introduce the different styles to move the controller, stuff like that. A lot of the same ideas. Really fun game. WarioWare games are always silly, wacky, whatever. This was no different. I thought the motion controls were pretty good. I haven't played the Wii in a while. I've gotten used to the Switch motion controls, and the Wii's motion controls are much better. So I had a lot of fun with this one. Definitely on the upper end of my list of WarioWare games I've played. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's definitely near the top. The next game I got around to this month was a 3DS game. That is Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix. I actually played this. This is on my 3DS that I bought off of eBay. I never had a 3DS. This is actually the first 3DS game I played with 3D turned on. Funny enough. So Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix. I've never played any Rhythm Heaven games before this, but it was one of those series that I've heard of. One of those Nintendo series that I should get around to one day. I had this downloaded from. I bought it before the shop closed because I was afraid I wouldn't be able to play it. And the reason I downloaded it was because it didn't get a North American release. And so I was like, okay, I'll get it digitally. I'll have that ready to go one day when I play it. And I decided to play it this month. And it was a lot of fun. It's basically, it kind of has a lot of the same energy as WarioWare. The setups for the games you're playing are these just weird nonsense stories. Each little story brings up I don't know, 1 to 2 minute rhythm mini game where they play music and you have your screen and things are happening and you're basically just tapping the A. It's mainly A buttons. Sometimes the B button's also included, and sometimes the D pad's included. And gosh, there must have been, I don't know, 50 to, maybe more than that, 50 mini games, just like that, little songs you had to play through to beat this game. And they're really good. Obviously, rhythm is a big focus of this, so it really needs the songs and the rhythm to make the game feel intuitive, and this game did a good job of that, where looking at the screen and just hearing the music in the back of my head and tapping my foot, I was able to know intuitively when to press the buttons and where to press, which buttons to press. Great game. I played, let's see, I rolled credits 1.5 times. It kind of fakes you out the first time. Then I actually beat the game. I did not do the post credits stuff yet. So a post game with even more mini games. The back half of this game's a whole lot of fun when it gets a little more difficult and it starts testing you a little bit more. It's a little slow at start. It's a lot of simple rhythms and I wouldn't say it's boring, but it's definitely simple. And it's like every minigame has a forced tutorial that kind of slows things down a bit because it wants you to learn the rhythm for that minigame. And at first, it can be a little slow, but once you get into it, once you get into those later ones, it's a lot of fun. And fun to replay them, try to get high scores, stuff like that. So yeah, I really like this game. I would like to get a physical copy of it one day, but it's like the PAL version costs so much money. I just hope that maybe they'll make a new one for the Switch or the Switch successor eventually, because it turns out I like Rhythm Heaven. Third game, I'm still playing this one, so I haven't fully developed my thoughts on it, but I'm about 6 hours into Okami. I got the PS4 Okami HD. Started playing this game. Okami's one of those games that like I've never played it, and it's been like kind of like off in the back burner backlog. Like who knows when I get to Okami. But I was inspired to play it because friend of the channel, Bird Dog Gaming, on his monthly Unlockable podcast, he and his co-host Hannah are playing Okami right now. So that at the end of March, I believe, they're going to talk about their thoughts on the entirety of Okami. So I was like, okay, if I was going to play Okami, now it's time to play it so I can kind of understand what they're talking about in the video and stuff. So I got around to Okami, got it like $20 secondhand at a store near me. And like I said, I'm not super far into it, but like first impressions, it's a beautiful game. It's got kind of a timeless art style, like a painterly look, to where like, a lot of games that go after like photorealism, those don't tend to age as well because, PS3 games don't look as good as PS5 games. So like, oh, it doesn't look as good. But a game with an art style like this, that's like very unique, and they're going after what they're going after. It still looks good today. And I'm having a lot of fun playing it. I'm playing it a lot on this thing. Recently got a PlayStation Portal. So very reflective screen here. Got some stuff on it, but I'll talk more about this thing some other time. I'm not still haven't quite decided how I feel about this thing. So far, I like it a lot. I haven't tested it outside of my own apartment though, so I really need to give it the full test and go test it somewhere else. It's on the couch in the other room. It does work good, but I've had a lot of fun playing Okami with it. Okami, running around exploring like the overworld's fun. Talking to the characters are fun. They're pretty funny. They have funny little Animal Crossing voice sounds, like it's pretty funny. But the combat so far is a little meh. Just kind of mashing the square button a lot. But I'm enjoying like being in the world and running around and seeing things, just kind of exploring. But hopefully the combat can maybe kick it up a notch as things go. And I'll probably talk more about my full thoughts in the game next month. But let's see. The last big game I played this month that's not from this month is I finished the other end of Scarlet DLC. Last month I played the part 1 of the DLC. This month I played part 2. It's a lot of the same. It's more Pokemon Scarlet. I enjoy Pokemon Scarlet. It's a fun game. Just has, its limitations from the technical side that kind of weigh it down with the way things look and the way things perform. Frame rate and all that. But that's been talked to death. I've talked to that a bunch. DLC was fun. I liked the variety in the environments in this DLC. And I did like, they actually did one thing to kind of switch it up from the rest of the game. Most of the main battles are double battles. And a lot of the enemy or opposing trainers' teams were designed around that. So they have some smart synergy in the double battle style that I don't play as much with. Brought in some good, decent challenge, some high-level Pokemon, some actual strategies. So it was fun. It wasn't quite as a cakewalk as the first DLC was, in my opinion. And as far as like my Pokemon Home update, I'm trying to finish the Pokemon Home decks. After finishing the DLC, I'm now up to 945 Pokemon in Pokemon Home. out of the 1,024. So I've got like 80 left. I'm probably going to take a break from Pokemon in March because I just finished this DLC. I don't have like another one planned out, but I want to, as the year goes, I want to keep replaying some older generations and filling out my Pokemon home decks. Hopefully I can finish it by the end of the year. So yeah, 80 left, or 79 if you want to get nitpicky. But yeah, Pokemon Scarlet, pretty fun game. Never really patched it like I hoped they would. But, you know. All right. Last couple things I dabbled in this month, but I don't really have a whole lot to say about. I did play a little bit of Elden Ring because the Shadows of the Erdtree DLC trailer came out, and it looked like a lot of fun. So I was like, I'm going to play Elden Ring for a couple hours, but enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to the DLC in June. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then the last thing I've kind of been dabbling in is I'm playing a little bit of Fire Emblem Sacred Stones on my Analog Pocket. Just kind of doing a challenge run of sorts in that game. I'm not going to talk about it too much. I'm going to make a video over it maybe next month if I can get around to it. But yeah, love that game. I probably played that game like 8 or 10 times. So happy to replay that game as well. Okay, so how about some games I didn't get to this month? So there's a lot of good games coming out this year already, and I don't think anyone can really keep up with it. But one game I really wanted to make sure I play, and I didn't want to let myself skip over, was Persona 3 Reload. So I did buy Persona 3. I have not started it yet because I really want to give this game the time and effort it deserves. I don't feel confident doing that before some other RPGs at the end of the month. So I got Persona 3. I'll probably get to that in like April, I imagine. I want to get Helldivers 2. That game looks like a hell of a lot of fun. Have some friends that have it. And I think I'll probably get that next month as well and start getting into Helldivers. I have not got Tekken 8 yet. I said I want to play that last month. I've not gotten around to that. That's still on my list of things I want to get to. But one game that I'm thinking is less likely I'll get to is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Not because I'm not interested in it, but it's like it probably came out, I think it came out first, but it's like there's like 4 or 5 really good RPGs out already this year that I just don't know when I'm going to have time to get to Like a Dragon. Maybe later in the year, I don't know. But it's lower on the totem pole than something like Persona 3 for me, which is something I've wanted to get in Persona for a while, so I'm going to go into that first. And then if there's time later in the year, maybe I'll get around to Infinite Wealth. Alright, so let's talk about the games that actually came out this month. Games that came out in February 2024. Gotta pick my favorite one of them that I played so far. First one I want to talk about is Foam Stars. Foam Stars is a third-person hero shooter from Square Enix, or published by Square Enix. The reason I played Foam Stars, the reason a lot of people probably played Foam Stars, it was the free PlayStation Plus, or a free PlayStation Plus game this month. So on launch day, I downloaded it, played with a couple friends, Tyler and Sir Lumber. We had a lot of fun streaming that on launch day. The game is built for 3. I think parties of 4. I think it's 4v4s. But with three teammates that are talking one chat, there's a lot of good synergy and cooperation that helps in this game. So playing with friends definitely made the game a lot more fun. Basically, the way it works, each player has a character that shoots a different kind of gun or foam shooter, whatever, and you shoot foams at your enemies. And you foam them up, turn basically a giant snowball, but of foam, and you ride your snowboard into them and eliminate them. It sounds like nonsense. It kind of is nonsense. Basically, it's a third-person shooter where you're shooting foam at people. Really colorful game, and some really good upbeat music. I think that went a long way for me. Was the way the game looked. It's very frantic. There's color flying everywhere. Upbeat music. People yelling at you, go over here, go over here, go over here. So I had a lot of fun playing that on launch day with some friends. I did solo queue, play by myself a couple times since then, and it's not as fun. playing without your friends for all the reasons I mentioned. Just playing in like silence with no conversation with just some random people. It doesn't have quite hit the same. The game itself is still fun. The mechanics still work, but I think that cooperation really puts it over the edge. What is disappointing about this game is the single player content, though. The mission mode, it's basically like it's a very repetitive, very simple, very easy horde survival mode thing that every character has like lore and story that you have to go through. And basically it's like shoot a couple enemies and then they'll give you some like lore and the characters and like some story, and then shoot some more enemies and give you more. And it does that. I mean, each character has 3 levels and they all play the exact same. The last one's barely any more difficult than the first one. And it's just feeding you this story for these characters that I don't really care about. Like, it's cool that the characters have backstory, but I would almost just rather read a page explainer on the character story than like be slowly fed it to me through these very boring horde modes. I'm glad I played this game. I don't know if I would have ever got to it if it wasn't a PS Plus game, but I did have a good time with it in the time we played multiplayer, and I had pretty good time playing by myself online. Single player is not good, but I did a full video review of that a couple weeks ago if you want to get some more in-depth thoughts on the game. But little disappointing, but I played it for free, so I can't complain that much. The next game talk about, I actually got this one recently. It was on a Nintendo Direct, Penny's Big Breakaway. So this is from Evening Star Games. It's a studio with Christian Whitehead and some of the other folks that help make Sonic Mania. And this is a 3D platformer from them. First impression of the game, I love 3D platformers in general, but I also really like being able to control the camera with the right stick. So this game is a free camera, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I did have a lot of trouble at first. My brain was trying to use the right stick for the camera, but in this game, the right stick controls like your yo-yo. So if you move the camera, you're throwing a yo-yo, which is basically a form of movement in the game. You can like dive after your yo-yo or like use your yo-yo to grab stuff and swing. So I was fighting with the controls a lot, not because like the game was bad, but because my brain wanted to use the right stick for the camera. I was able to work through that as I played the game. I still kind of like the ability to move the camera freely, but with a fixed camera, it allows them to show the level in certain ways, which has its benefits for like the level design. Overall, it's a pretty fun game. It has a very high skill ceiling. So at first, I was not very good at the game. Like I said, I was already fighting with the controls, but I wasn't good at moving fast, good at pulling off all the tricks. You can throw your yo-yo and dive after it. You can throw your yo-yo and swing. You've got a little bit of a double jump. You can roll on your yo-yo to go fast over, like roll down stuff. And all that stuff works well. Like I said, but at first when I wasn't good at that stuff, I was running through really slow. And because of that, I was searching the levels more to find more of the collectibles. I was being real thorough, like trying to find all the collectibles each level. But as I got better at the game, I started wanting to go faster and like try to skip stuff and like really zip around. And because of that, I started getting less of the collectibles, which doesn't really make a whole big difference. I don't think just beating the levels was really what I wanted to do. And once I was getting better at the controls and some of the tricks, you can really start moving around those levels. It's a lot of fun. The levels are really striking from a color perspective. A lot of bright colors just thrown everywhere. The music's really upbeat and fun. There's like a bunch of NPCs around the levels, like these little like robot guys, and most of the time they don't do anything. Sometimes they give you like little quests, little mini quests in the level to go do, challenges. Most of the time they're just like standing there with their talking to each other, and they have got some fun little dialogue if you sit there and like read what they had to say to each other. So the game's got a lot of charm, a lot of personality. I beat the game probably. I mean, there's probably 30 to 40, maybe 50 levels. I did the whole base game and then about half of the bonus levels that you can unlock. And it was a lot of fun. Some challenging stuff. I didn't really get super good at the game. I was able to learn some of the tricks, but I've been watching some videos of people play on Twitter who have like gotten really good at the game. And this game's going to be so fun to watch, like high level players play, whether it just be speed runs of the whole game or just single level time trials. I bet some of those single level time trials, especially for like World 1-1, people are going to run through that, like perfectly optimize that level and just do some shenanigans. And that's going to be really fun to watch. I'm looking forward to that. Game's a little buggy. Couple glitchy like walls, like shot through a wall and like the camera got all messed up, and some of the platforms I got stuck on sometimes and I had to restart from a checkpoint. Nothing that like really ruined the game for me. The game's pretty liberal on its checkpoint placement, and so just going back to checkpoint doesn't really hurt that bad, and you can't really game over. If you run out of all your health, you just lose points, which I wasn't going for high scores on levels. I was just trying to beat them, so I didn't. Basically, there was no real harm in dying. Pretty fun game. I want to try to make a video review on it that may or may not be out by the time this goes out. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, fun game. I wish I had more time to really sink into it and get better at it and like really learn the game, because I can tell the skill ceiling allows for some really cool stuff. So, right, the main game I played this month, and what I'll probably say is my game of the month right now, is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. This is an action RPG from Psy Games, I think published by Xseed Games. And this game is a sequel to a mobile game, and there's also a couple fighting games in this universe, which I've not played, I might check out. But basically, you play as the captain of a ship, I think it's called Skyfarers. You're a bunch of, you're basically going around, you're on your big, steampunk ship, and you land somewhere, and then you get thrown into the story. There's a bunch of characters from the original mobile game that, like, if you played that game, you probably have a lot more background knowledge of them, but the game does a good job of, like, giving you ways to learn about each character through, like, little, like, story background stuff that you can listen to. Characters were all, I don't know, like I didn't really ever fall in love with the characters. They were all fine. The story itself was also fine. I don't want to say it's generic, but it never like really set itself apart for me. But the story was, I wasn't coming to this game for the story. I was coming to it for its gameplay. Like I said, it's an action RPG, and these developers, like I said, they've made a fighting game before, and you can really tell their fighting game like background and roots of these characters, because each character, there's like 18 characters, and they've all got their own movesets, and they all play a lot different than one another, to where like you can like main a character. It's not just like you don't just know how to play every character just by switching to them. So you like main characters, you can learn their moves, learn combos with them. There's whole like skill trees, and like you can like choose what skills you want to have equipped to each character, like how you want to build them out. Lots of options for weapons, how you want to, like, what kind of like damage you want to spec into, like if you want to go for stun, or if you want to go for like crits, or if you want to go like all out damage. You can like build your whole party of 4 people, so the NPCs have their roles as well. The gameplay was a lot of fun, very flashy. lots of like satisfying moments. You can do link attacks. So if you basically can build up this meter, this link meter, and you can hit circle to do like a link attack, and your character goes flying from wherever they're at and just hits the enemy. And if you've met certain conditions, you'll enter like link time, which is just slow mo, where you can just throw off special skills left and right. So yeah, the gameplay is a lot of fun, and there's what I spent probably most of my time in is there's these things called there's like a quest table. Think of it like Monster Hunter, where you like go to an NPC and you like get a quest and you like go out on a mission. So these quests, they can be anything from like horde, kill all the enemies, like a horde survival, a boss attack, something like that. And basically do these little missions. Maybe they take a minute, maybe they take 5 minutes. And there's different difficulties and different kinds. But what was really cool was you can play it multiplayer. And the multiplayer worked really well to where when you play with each other, you just join each other's, like an instance of their world. And you can, you join in a lobby and you're still in your own instance of your own world. So you can run around, talk to your NPCs, turn in your side quest, upgrade your weapons, but you still see your friend also running around, and you can each go to different towns. It doesn't matter. It's really lets you just go do what you want to do, and then you can do the quest together, and those were a lot of fun. I wouldn't say you like need to do it multiplayer until the very end. Most of the quests are pretty simple if you're leveling up your characters and doing some side stuff. When you get to the very end, some like the master level stuff, it's probably better to do with friends rather than the NPCs. Yeah, it was a fun game. I'm glad I got around to it. Like I said, like I didn't like fall in love with the world per se. It looked pretty. It has a nice art style. I've said this a lot today, but it's very colorful. So I liked what the game looked like. It had some good music. Had good combat. I just don't know if I really care about the characters or the story. So if there's another one of these games down the line, I'll probably check it out. And I'm glad I got around to it. That took up probably most of my month, was getting through this game. It's my primary game to play. So yeah, like I said, that was my game of the month. But the day this video drops is the same day another game comes out on February 29th. So at the time of this recording, I have not played this game other than the demo, but Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes out, and that will almost certainly be my game of the month when it's all said and done. I did play the demo, the first demo, where you get to play like the little intro flashback thing. Final Fantasy VII Remake is one of my top 10 favorite games ever, so I'm unbelievably excited for Rebirth. Love all the characters, love what they're doing with the story. The combat system is like, I think it's one of the best like RPG combat systems there is, where it's the mix of action and turn-based. The way they integrate that feels so well done, and both sides feel good. It feels good to play action, and it feels good to use the turn-based like stuff with the ATB. I can't wait to see where the story goes. I have not seen anything. I haven't spoiled anything. I want to see how the characters interact, where they go. Yeah, I'm very excited. At the time this video goes up, I'll probably be heading over to Best Buy to get my deluxe edition, and I'll be playing this game for 20 hours a day until I beat it. But yeah, the demo's fun. It's like 90 minutes. Just playing the demo, kind of getting my feet wet, relearning the combat, getting reassociated with it. The music is so good, even though I've only heard like a couple tracks in the 90 minutes. But yeah, just really excited for this game. It probably will be my game of the month when it's all said and done. And that last thing, just a couple games I want to try for March. Like I said, I'll probably be playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for most of March. It'll probably take up most of my time. But when I do get around to playing other games, there's a couple Switch games I want to get. I want to get Unicorn Overlord. It's a fantasy RPG tactics game from Atlas and Vanillaware. Looks pretty fun. There's a demo out if you want to try it. I have not got around to trying the demo, but that'll probably be the first thing I play after Final Fantasy VII. And then I also want to try Pepper Grinder, That is another Devolver Digital published games. I play a lot of Devolver's games. This one looks fun. It's a platformer where you have a little drill and you drill through the earth and you can like shoot back out. It looks like it uses a lot of momentum in fun ways. That comes out at the end of the month, and I'm wanting to get that one as well. A lot of Devolver games tend to be up my alley, so I like all the games they publish. But in reality, I'll probably just be playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for the entire month. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get around to those other games. But alright, I think I've covered all the games I wanted to talk about. All the games I played in February, the games I want to play in March. But yeah, really looking forward to Final Fantasy. And I'm sure I'll give some more thoughts in that in the March episode. But thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.